Okay, so we are rolling. Hi, Gemini. This one's for you. Welcome. This is Tarot Lumination with your singles mini love and relationship report for the December January transition period, holiday season, if you want to call it that. uh, it's the usual routine. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. That's the protocol here that all the tarot people do. Seems to work pretty well. And of course, you know, Gemini, you're at this big end of the Saturn transit right now, that big Saturn and Sagittarius transit that's been going on for a few years. It's basically going to be over very shortly, and everything starts again in Saturn and Capricorn. So you might have been enduring a lot of, let's say, heavy lifting in the area of your most important one-on-one relationships like spouse, business, things like that, and come out a bit bruised and beat up, but certainly the wiser. So let's see how we go. There's a new moon coming up in Sagittarius right towards the end of the month. So of course you're going to make the best of that, and that'll usher you into a whole new chapter starting 2018. So let's see if we can get out of 2017 sweetly. Let's just see what happens, okay? No reversals. Sorry about that. No oracles. We don't have any. And this will have to do. Thank you very much. Also, stop, start, pause, rewind, however you feel is necessary in order to integrate these questions into the reading and make it your own, okay? I encourage you to reinterpret to suit yourselves, and even do your cross-watching things if you've got your eye on someone in particular, but they're not really there, but you know a little bit about them. So it's like snooping, you know, just good old-fashioned snooping. All right, we are shuffled. Cards were well shuffled in advance, but we go to the last second just to be sure, and that so that you are a witness. All right. This would be you, the love energy that you would radiate. This would be the energy of the other. What if? Like, if you do happen to attract somebody, or someone's coming after you, or you've got the hots for somebody, then this would be their kind of energy. Over here, it would be the relationship itself. You know, what's the nature? And over here are the prospects of the relationship. All of this is speculative, okay? It's what if, okay, Gemini? You know that, okay? Also, we're going to look at circumstantial energy that prevails over the whole thing. And like it's the weather, you're going to make the best of it, like anyone would do. Okay, Gemini? All right, here we go. The Fool. So it might, maybe, my feeling was as soon as I saw this, I kept thinking, oh, you've been bruised and battered and knocked around and maybe a bit shell-shocked and, you know, feeling totally loopy in your head, like, whoa, what the heck happened, man, over the last few years? What was I doing? What was I thinking? But this is an indication that you come out the other side okay, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be more than okay. And it's a big green light, even though there's a lot of red here. It's the green outfit that he's wearing, but it's a big green light to start from scratch and give yourself permission just to literally start from scratch again. Like, whew, I'm glad this was all over. Bye-bye 2017. Bring in the new year. Thank you very much. You need it now, and this is the green light to go for it, okay? And you will recognize it, I'm sure, in your world. Let's have a look at your energy. Okay, so with the Page of Swords here, my feeling is that you've got very good intentions of like going forward. Let's say you decide I'm going to take full advantage of new starts, new beginnings, new ways of conducting my life, especially in relationships, especially when it gets into, let's say, like, hold on, I got to think about this. I want to make sure I get the right angles going on here. Pardon me, I'm getting an astrological hiccup. So in the area of like what would be astrologically your sixth house, what I'm feeling is that you have a strong desire to clean up your act, so to speak, going forward, having learned so much from the last few years that it's like you don't want to have to go through that stuff again. And so with the Page of Swords, my feeling is like you want to use all your skills and tools and knowledge now going forward and in readiness to call out anything and everything that is not showing signs of working for you. Okay. And I guess I was referring to that like big Jupiter and Scorpio thing that's hovering over your sixth house of work and habits and health and healing and just taking care of business and service to humanity, service to others, and wanting to do it at a better standard, high quality. Also with the Capricorn energy that's happening, that's going to be like up in your eighth house of deep intimacy, shared resources, deep soul merger, and again, not having a very clear determination. There's no way I'm going to let this stuff get messed up this time around. Thank you very much. Anytime I sense or feel anything bogus in those chapters and areas of my life, the Gemini, I'm going to call it out. Okay. And that's with no apologies for like if you've upset people, like, well, that's their problem. It's very important that you stick to the truth of what works for you. Yours. It doesn't mean you have to like impose your truth on others, but it's just sticking to what works for you, what you know works for you, having learned the hard way what does not work for you. So what would that attract in another? Whoa. Well, someone who appreciates this. So you might just be going off being Gemini and you've got your agenda going here and you're making the best of it, all the knowledge and the wisdom that you've, let's say, absorbed in the last few years, and now seeing on the horizon this great new chance for a new start. That can feel very liberating for you, Gemini, and like having really fresh, sparkling energy, like everything's being sparkleized and renewed, and you get the chance to start all over again, just to higher qualities and higher standards. Like it's like having an upgrade on your car or like a rental car or something. All of a sudden you get the fancy one. And now you want to go with that, and anything less than that won't do. So what you could be attracting is something that maybe you've always deep down wanted, which would be like the full package deal, full on lifestyle package deal, where someone recognizes certain qualities and gifts in you, mostly to do with things like honesty, integrity, truth, clarity of thoughts, words, speech, and language, in a way that is very, very appealing because it means that they can trust you because you're even willing to call out the truth on yourself in case you are erring from your own ways of truth and, let's say, integrity. So that can be very, very appealing to the point where you attract a spouse, a mate, a significant other of significant assets and qualities and gifts, which would be in their own way a reflection of your assets and qualities and gifts, and they're just sensing it. So because you wouldn't have been able to attract this kind of energy, like the Ten of Pentacles, which is a card of like almost having it all, unless you were radiating that equivalent in some way. It might be on a different, let's say, color or auric frequency, but it's still high frequency enough for a significant other to recognize that, and it's very appealing, and they bring a lot of value and assets and very desirable qualities with them, which I would think of as like the full package, everything. Like it's almost like Gemini, there's an opportunity that you might score here, especially if you think a little bit longer term. Don't just try and squash all this into a few weeks. Think longer term about how you're going to be planning your future and thoughtfully and carefully so that this has a chance to really manifest. This could almost include like getting married and having a family. Okay. So what would that imply here with the relationship itself? Well, again, with more more swords here. It's like it might mean that you're going through huge shifts, like internally. That's what I'm feeling here, where the things that you might have had to endure for the last few years are over, and you're sick of it and you're glad to be gone and done with it all. And you've taken everything that does work, all the concepts, knowledge, wisdom, awareness, learnings, teachings, let's say higher consciousness that you know works because you've been through the grinder for the last few years, and you know what works and you know a lot about what doesn't work, and you're taking the good stuff with you moving forward. Now again, this is all speculative, Jim, and I'm not saying this is here, but if you attracted this type of significant other, the relationship dynamic would have the feeling of impetus, of wanting to like move on and advance yourself, perhaps with this significant other, to having a better, like richer, fuller life, more peaceful, more harmonic, at higher frequencies, like higher understandings about how love and relationship works, and how the really, really, really important things are to do with things like respect, kindness, patience, consideration, affection, uh, good listening, things like that. It's very, very important to be a really good listener, Gemini. Let's have a look. Where would this take you? Okay. Well, it might take you way out on the fringes. My feeling is on the fringes of like if you do attract someone like this, and it might blow you away thinking like, wow, almost do I really deserve this? Well, just be grateful, okay, Gemini? And then if it means having to move on, change the whole way that you think and move and conduct your life in the context of relationships, even if it means moving, like different locations and everything, and it stirs up a lot of turbulence, it's okay. You can handle it, okay? Relationships are a constant balancing act between like, hey, honey, what can I do for you? Oh, honey, I was just going to ask you, what can I do for you? In a loving, healthy relationship, as opposed to like, I wonder what I can get out of you, or I wonder what I can get out of you. No, it's about investing in how can I nurture you guys, each other in the relationship, and doing it like in a way that like puts you, like what I feel is like puts you in a position where you have to take more responsibility than you've been used to in relationships. And now's the chance to exercise that. Even though you might not have a lot of experience, it's a really good opportunity now. Let's say if you do attract someone like this, it's going to be really good news for you to like totally upgrade your whole world of relationship. Okay? So I hope this makes sense in some kind of way, and you do get to move on in a way that works for you. All right, let's leave it at that. All the best. Thank you, Gemini. Have a super holiday period, and blessings on you and your loved ones.